Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today might be the bluest of balls that I've had all day today. Now you might be wondering, whoa Muta, 2 videos in one day. To be honest with you, I've been kind of reading this for the past hour at this point and been a little blown away at the potential lawsuits I'm about to be seeing, because y'all know when I see corporate America go into a little tizzy, I get excited like a kid at a candy store. And to be honest, being a Canadian, the fact that I decided to go with the one monopoly that still doesn't have cell service right now, yes, feels good indeed. I'm actually at home wondering, just what's happened to the country at the moment. Okay, we're a little waiting on the moment. We're a little waiting for everything to come, all the answers to fly at us. But ladies and gentlemen, Twitter at this point is unfortunately not getting purchased. Now, about a month, 2 months ago, we made a video where we talked about old Elon Musky Poo there, purchasing Twitter completely. Imagine being so rich you can wake up one day and just go, yeah, Twitter? I'm not buying no Twitter Blue. Hell, I'm not even downloading the app for free. I'm just gonna go buy the whole goddamn company. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the world's biggest shitposter wanted to make the world's biggest tech acquisition deal, and it didn't end up going through. Now, to recap, Elon Musk sold billions of dollars worth of Tesla stock, and at the time basically had put up an offer of $54.20 a share to buy every single bit of Twitter stock and basically take the company private. Get it? 420, that little reference had to be. Again, world's biggest shitposter making the world's biggest deal at this point. Of course, for $44 billion, is Twitter worth it? No! But of course, Elon was pretty committed to this deal. He wanted to have all the companies in his power. This is one man that had a vision, and that vision unfortunately never got realized. Now, of course, in the last hour to 2 hours, Elon Musk filed this final thing with the SEC. This is like an actual fresh off the press deal. Mr. Musk and his financial advisors at Morgan Stanley have been requesting critical information from Twitter as far back as May 9th, 2022, and repeatedly since then on the relationship between Twitter's disclosed MDAO figures and the prevalence of false and spam accounts on the platform. If there were any doubt as to the nature of these information requests, the May 25th letter made clear that Mr. Musk's goal was to understand how many of Twitter's claimed MDAOs were in fact fake or spam accounts. So what he basically means over here is, can you tell me how many people on Twitter are actually alive? Now, of course, we all know about the dead internet theory, but do we know about the dead Twitter theory? How many users does Twitter actually have in active circulating rotation? According to Twitter, or according to the best guess that we have, it's somewhere in the range of 229 million users, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, of course, every social media service has some level of botting to it, okay? Bots exist everywhere. They exist on YouTube, they exist on Twitch, they exist on Twitter, they exist on every single social media platform you could ever imagine. Now, Elon Musk, being the shitposter in the world, constantly tweeted out, hey, Twitter claims that over 95% of daily active users are real, unique humans. Does anyone have that experience? To which he goes, ha 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 ha, laughing emoji, or also, who me? Body butt poo. Which, of course, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Elon's having a little bit of a fun moment here, okay? Let's be real here. The guy's having a little bit of fun. Now, on a May 2nd public filing, even Twitter said that fewer than 5% of the 229 million daily users were actually false or spam or just bots. Now, I call a little sussy-wussy on this. To be real with you, Twitter, I'm not saying most of it is bots, but less than 5% is a very conservative estimate, okay? This is them absolutely downplaying the fact that they didn't have any form of less than 5%, in my opinion, doesn't even fall into averages. Obviously, with a site as massive as Twitter, I would wager that number would probably be close to somewhere like 8 to maybe 10%, which is sort of like the average statistician's best guess. There are literal research firms that sat down and basically pegged that, in their opinion, some of them actually believed that it was 9 to 15% of the millions of users on Twitter were actual automated bots. So at this point, this basically threw this entire deal into complete jeopardy. Remember, Elon had some wild plans when it came to this, okay? At some point, Elon wanted, according to the New York Times, to grow from 229 million users all the way up to 600 million in 2025, then 931 million in 2028. This is how insane it was, okay? It is the year 2022, okay? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6 years, okay? 6 years is what Elon believed or wanted, apparently, to have 1 billion users, basically quadrupling the user count on Twitter. Now, I can tell you right now how much of a pipe dream this is. For a lot of the biggest platforms out there, shit, just Facebook Meta alone is already facing stagnation. A lot of platforms are facing severe user stagnation. You can only grow so massively to the point where that initial like boost of users eventually starts tapering off. And there's a lot of factors to this kind of stuff too. For instance, let's say that we're factoring in things like, the first world countries and having access to the internet in general. There's only a finite amount of users that have the ability to access social media services and access to phone plans, internet services, or even smartphones in general. In a lot of places, yes, Twitter is still very much a luxury. And even in places that are the first world, okay, where typically you would have the best of infrastructures, still face issues. Again, I'm Canadian. We can't access mobile networks right now. We're kind of sitting here with our dicks in our hands, doing nothing, waiting for one of the biggest ISP services, the biggest telecom, to get its shit together and give us services. So if we're having problems, imagine the rest of the world, imagine parts of the world that are still finally entering that smartphone era, finally entering that mobile internet era. You can't just grow up to 1 billion users. You would actually have to create proper infrastructure and better put people on an equal footing around the world to join the luxurious world of getting ratioed on social media. That is something that I think Elon should have addressed, okay? And, to an extent, Elon's got companies for that too. He obviously has Starlink, so maybe if he can spread internet throughout the entire world, maybe, sure. But it's definitely a goddamn pipe dream. Now, of course, this really brings into the question, who's lying where? Because of this, Elon's kind of like backing out of a deal, and there's a whole bunch of lawsuits that could potentially kick up. Twitter could basically try to sue Elon into completing the deal that he initially brought forward. At best, as far as I know, Twitter can make $1 billion just basically off of the severance payment of this deal not going through. But what's wild about it is just looking at Twitter stock. Now, it's interesting, in the last 6 months, if you just looked at Twitter stock, because of Elon trying to purchase Twitter, it went from basically trading at an average of like $35, and it peaked at around $50 at this point, which was still a little bit below that $54 offer that Elon basically pimped out. But to understand, okay, because Elon backed out of this offer now, it's currently trading well below. It's at $36 and it's already going down in the after hours. So again, it's interesting to see what Twitter will look like tomorrow or in the next few days, and how this actual lawsuit, which will probably happen, because remember, this is $44 billion on the line. Twitter didn't just lose $44 billion or this deal. They actually had to stop all their presses to basically prep for this deal going through. But I guess at the last minute, Elon basically backed out of it, and the world's richest man pulled out of the world's most lucrative business deal that I could ever see. Well, actually, why am I saying lucrative, okay? If Twitter actually is filled with bots, then maybe it isn't as lucrative as one would think. Point is, someone here is lying. And I'm no fan of Elon Musk. Let me tell you right now, I don't think the guy is that great as much as some nerds on the internet consider him to be. I'm not like the Elon simp dick rider. I'm not his PR team. But in this case, I definitely have to question Twitter's very conservative use of less than 5% being bots. At some point in the next few months, we're probably going to get an actual idea of how many bots exist on Twitter. And the number could very much be close to the 5%, and Elon could have egg on his face, or the number could be astronomically fucking high, which would mean Twitter has egg on their face. Point is, someone's going to lose in this scenario. And the best thing that we can do as a community is just sit in the sidelines and watch the shit show go down. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully my internet service comes back. Hopefully Canada doesn't look like a joke in the rest of the world. Rogers gets its shit together. Till then, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am going to actually work on another little creepy video. One that's all about money laundering.